the NFC North could look real different next year. Let's discuss. Hey guys, Diggs Report. I'm back to you with another video, and this time I'm breaking down the NFC North. Let's jump right in with the Chicago Bears. Alright, the Bears have a needed inside linebacker, and if you know the Bears' history, you know they are the kings of getting inside linebackers. You're talking Dick Butkus, you're talking Mike Singletary, you're talking Brian Urlacher, 3 guys that are in the Hall of Fame, and you could probably name a few more guys that have been really good for them. But they have a need, and they've got to find somebody this offseason. Remember, the inside linebacker is basically the quarterback of the defense. It's not good if you don't really have that position cleared up. And also, their top free agent, it's Ha Clinton-Dix. Now, Ha Clinton-Dix, he was drafted in the first round by the Packers, went to a Pro Bowl, signed a 1-year deal with the Bears, started every single game. Are they going to re-sign him? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they decide to change things up. But Ha Clinton-Dix is still a talented player. I think he can still play in this league. The Bears don't have a lot of cap space right now. They only have $26 million. That's good for 23rd. They may have to move around some money to sign a few guys. And don't forget, they don't have a first-round pick this year because they traded that for Khalil Mack. So they don't pick until 43rd overall in the second round. Detroit really controls the draft right now. What they do at number 3 is going to determine everything. Whether they take a defensive player, they could take a quarterback, they could just trade that pick. All possibilities are open with Detroit. They hold all the cards in the draft. And Detroit actually has the most cap space out of any NFC North team because they have $51 million. That's good for 16th overall. And their top free agent, it's Graham Glasgow. You're wondering, who's that? That's one of their guards. Now, surprisingly, Detroit actually had a pretty good interior offensive line last year. So having a guy that was part of that interior offensive line as a free agent, maybe they want to re-sign him. And their top need is probably in the secondary, especially if they trade Darius Slay. If that happens, they need to find people in that secondary. One thing you could complain about with the Packers last year is they only had Davante Adams and then a bunch of backups at receiver. They need to find somebody to complement Davante Adams. That's going to be their number one need going into the offseason. In their top free agent, it's Blake Martinez, their inside linebacker. He's been the leader of that team for a while. Are they going to re-sign him, or are they going to let him walk? Because he is going to command a high contract, but he does have his limitations, so they have to figure out what's the value there. And they don't pick until 30th overall, and they only have $21 million cap space. That's 26th overall. So they're another team that's probably going to have to move some pieces around to sign some guys. Minnesota actually has a big problem. They only have less than $1 million in cap space. They're still under the cap, but not by a whole lot. They have to sign the rookie class. They have to re-sign free agents. They really have to move some money around. Only the Steelers has a lower cap number than they do. That's not a good thing. Their top free agent is Anthony Harris. This guy was a really good safety for them last year. He picked off 6 passes, and you know teams are going to want to go after him. So they want to re-sign him. They're definitely going to have to move some money around, figure out what to do. And their top need is that cornerback. Xavier Rhodes, he struggled last year after being one of the best corners in the league for the past few seasons. And they have 3 guys that are free agents this year at cornerback. They either need to re-sign those guys or find some guys in the draft and in free agency. You got to figure out what to do with that cornerback position. And they don't pick till 25th overall. Alright guys, that was the NFC North offseason preview, and I'll see you next time for the AFC South.